Governor Ron DeSantis announced the state is fully reopened for business by lifting all restrictions on bars and restaurants and banning fines for not wearing a mask.
There will not be limitations from the state of Florida. And in fact, we're also cognizant about the need for business certainty. There have been some local closures and other types of restrictions. And so the order that I'm signing today will guarantee restaurants operate, will not allow closures.
But inside restaurants with full capacity, there is no mask mandate, there's no fine. These are all the wrong sort of decisions as far as actually trying to bring this pandemic under control.
Lockdowns should be off the table. At best, what they do is just delay infections. They do not reduce mortality, but they cause catastrophic damage. And so that should be off the table in this country going forward. We need our society to function because, COVID-19 is one health issue. There's a whole host of other health issues out there that get exacerbated when you have society on its knees.
Governor who has handled this pandemic much differently than any other, certainly than his counterpart in New York, Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis.
I think we've done a couple things. One, we focus protection on elderly people rather than trying to shut the entire society down. Say everybody has a right to work. So local government can't shut you down. They can't prevent you from earning a living. They can't prevent businesses from operating. I think that we've understood COVID's real. You focus on your elderly population, but you can't run your society into the ground. Kids need to be in school. People need to be able to earn a living. What the evidence was, lockdowns don't cure anything. Even putting aside the economy, lockdowns don't work. They haven't worked to stop the spread. As you say, a place like California has been the most locked down. They've had higher cases, mortality, and hospitalizations per capita than us. We have one of the oldest populations in the country, second oldest population. And yet our mortality per capita for the whole pandemic is 26th in the country. I think that those lockdowns were not evidence-based, and I think that they were mistakes. Florida also led and continues to lead on protecting the livelihoods of our people. While so many other states kept locking people down, Florida lifted people up. We believe every job is essential. If you work in a restaurant, we have your back. If you are a hairstylist, we protect your right to earn a living. And if you are a parent, we ensure your kids have the right to attend school in person. Lockdowns do not work. School closures have been disastrous. Florida schools are open. Every Floridian has a right to work. All businesses have a right to operate. We followed the evidence and the data. We didn't follow special interests. We didn't follow hysteria. We were there for our working parents. We were there for our students. And we're going to continue to do that. And we are not turning back.
Joining me right now is the governor of the state many people have been flocking to, Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida.
Florida schools have been open the whole school year. We have every parent in Florida has the right to send their child to in-person instruction. Every worker has a right to work and earn a living and put food on their table, and every business has a right to operate. Lockdowns don't work. We've demonstrated that. We're not turning back, Maria. So there's a whole bunch of things we've been doing for COVID, but at the same time, we've lifted our state up, we've saved our economy. And so there is no evidence to suggest that school kids should do anything else other than be in school. This has been clear for months and months and months. We followed the data when we worked to get the parents the option to send the kids back.
News at 7, opposite COVID-19 responses. Similar COVID-19 numbers.
The approach has been very different from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and California Governor Gavin Newsom. California went pretty heavy on restrictions. Florida has not. The exact opposite, actually.
Since the early days of the pandemic, no two states have been more different in their approaches to fighting coronavirus than California and Florida. And yet both states ended up with roughly the same outcome. In California, gatherings were limited, bars were closed, indoor dining prohibited, a mask mandate imposed, and residents were implored to stay home. While in Florida, there was never a mask mandate, restrictions on businesses and restaurants were lifted, and schools have stayed open. That's because Governor Ron DeSantis said he trusted his residents to use common sense.
Contrast states like Florida and California California basically in lockdown, and their numbers aren't that different from Florida.